Welcome to Pulse episode 41. This week, as some before it, I had to compress the news a little bit. You won't miss any of the action though, because I have a nice section of smalls set up for you, which you'll see in just a little while. In the Starcraft news, we have a look at patch 1.2's launch, the GSL action, Total Biscuit's story, and much more. In the World of Warcraft news, we have a look at patch 4.0.6 on the public test realms, Cataclysm shattering even more sales records, a couple of interesting blogs from the guys over at Blizzard, and much more. As usual, we're going to start today off with the Starcraft news. Let's get to it. Starcraft 2 patch 1.2 has finally been released. Chat channels, Master League, new customizable hotkeys, an extreme graphics option, and a bunch of balance changes are all available for those that dare to log in. Balance changes? Well, Zerg didn't receive much work in this patch, but you can't block ramps with only 2 pylons anymore, so I guess that's a good thing. Protoss see some big changes in their air units, a cost reduction on observers, a build time decrease on phoenixes, and a few other changes to void rays too. The Terran SCVs have also had a few changes made to the way they build and the way they receive aggro or threat when repairing something. So if you're in any way involved in StarCraft 2, I guess you're going to want to see those full patch notes. You know exactly where to find them. In addition to all of that, you can also read a quick FAQ from the guys over at Blizzard about the Masters League, how you can get into it, how difficult it will be, and everything else that comes along with it. Lastly, below you can find a list of apparent hidden changes in patch 1.2, and no, there wasn't a ladder reset with this patch. If you're one of the players that's having problems downloading content in this new patch, then there are a couple of ways to fix that, and I have linked them for you guys below. The GSL has moved into, and by now probably completed, its round of 16. Yes, even more StarCraft 2 excitement. The 16 players moved into yet another group stage, as far as I know the final of the group stages, and you can see those groups below. They are currently, at the time of recording this, busy with their 3rd play day, and as you can expect, there's a lot of action going down. Nestea and Trickster topped their groups to move through to the round of 8, and I Am MVP and Choya Foyu did the same in theirs. Most recently, Idra got a clean 3-0 in his group, and Nada also progressed through to the round of 8. There's still 1 play day left in the round of 16, and big players such as MC and Jinro have yet to play, so that's definitely going to be worth checking out. So as usual, if you want to keep track of all the GSL goodness, the best place to look is either Team Liquid or just keep checking back here every week for a couple of updates. I have linked all the Code A and Code S results for you guys below, so check that out too. A few GSL extras include interviews with all the players that made it through to the round of 16, an interesting priest, pastor, or just concerned citizen named Brother Mac has been praying for Idra and obviously uploading that to YouTube too. So if you want a good laugh, then I think you should check that one out. You can also find an interesting video below of Artosis relentlessly being trolled by the guys on the GomTV forums. And below you can read how there may well soon be some map changes in the GSL, how the GSL and GomTV are looking for new English-speaking casters for their Code A games, how you can send your favorite foreign player to Korea to participate in the GSL, and the house that GomTV has planned for any foreign players visiting Korea to participate in the GSL. The next TeamSpeak Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open has been announced, and registrations are in fact open. This 9th installment will be held on the North American servers, and as those before it, it will be a qualifier for the PokerStrategy.com TSL 3. So if you're keen to enter or just stay in the loop with all the TSL related news, I guess you can check that out below. SK Gaming's first StarCraft 2 player and Warcraft 3 legend, Madfrog, is apparently going to be departing from the organization due to unfortunate circumstances. Not much else was said about this parting of ways, but I would be pretty shocked to hear that he was let go instead of him quitting. All that SK Gaming said on the matter was that due to recent circumstances and after a series of discussions, they came to the conclusion that Madfrog was unable to stay with SK Gaming in 2011. Sad day if you ask me. Well, good luck to Madfrog in his future endeavors, and you can read the full thing below. After the little piece of news and mention of the GSL looking for casters for their Code A games, many players suggested that none other than Total Biscuit would be perfect for the position. He did reply though by saying that he won't be applying for the position, as awesome as it would be. He said that he was already fighting a legal battle to try and get back into the US to see his wife and kid. This was after being apart for 2 years thanks to the irreversible decision of a Homeland Security officer. So now, as you can expect, he can't just go running off to South Korea on a whim. He did, however, give us the long and short version of the story. Here's the short one. He met his wife at BlizzCon 2005, as nerds do. They kept in touch, and after a couple more visits, it got serious, and he decided to take the chance and move to the States in 2007. So he packed up his stuff, put the rest in storage, and went to live with her in the States. He explains that he was at the time of his life where he felt like taking risks and was in a position to take them. From there, the story takes a slightly more sour turn, and I'm going to leave the rest for you guys to read below. I would actually say this is a heartwarming story because this is clearly a man with his heart in the right place. So that, my friends, is why we won't be seeing Total Biscuit casting the GSL anytime soon. In one last bit of Total Biscuit news, he wrote an article recently on his website, cynicalbrit.com, about spectating games and the future of esports in general. He basically says that entry-level casting, for entertainment's sake, as the commentators do on TV for other sports, is the future of esports. Needless to say, he is probably right, and this read will probably put quite a few things into perspective for you guys that actually sometimes whine about the fact that casters don't know what they're talking about. Sure, sometimes you would want a caster that knows exactly what he's saying for those hardcore Starcrafters out there, but sometimes you just want to enjoy the game. So you can read the full thing below, and I definitely recommend reading it. The 22nd Liquid Weekly is out, and this time around there's a huge focus on Jinro and his performance at the GSL. They also have a quick look at TLO's victory at the PokerIdol.com tournament. You can also find the usual smalls and other various interesting tidbits, like a piece of fan art of the Gorilla Terran versus the Kraken. Yes, definitely worth checking out. One of the bigger pieces of player and clan news this week is that EG recently bought DeMuslim out of his running contract with MTW to add him to their already impressive Starcraft 2 lineup. EG already currently homes several stars of the RTS scene, such as Starcraft 2 bad boy Idra and Warcraft 3 legend Grubby. DeMuslim released an official statement saying that he was thrilled to be part of EG and incredibly happy that MTW took it as well as they did. You can read the full details of the transfer and DeMuslim's statement below. Right after this, it was also announced that EG has plans to set up a house in South Korea where their players could stay and prepare for events such as the Global StarCraft 2 League or the Global StarCraft Team League. Additionally, it was mentioned that Benjamin DeMuslim Baker was set to participate in future seasons of the GSL. These articles and announcements are definitely worth a read, and they even compared DeMuslim's marketability to some other big name players such as Grubby. You can check that all out below. Enjoy. The chief of the Intel Extreme Masters, Carmack, is set to be featured on a new show on ESL TV where he'll go from a total noob at StarCraft 2 to a diamond level player. How, you ask? Well, this will be done with the help of Kevin Rotterdam van der Kooi. The show will be called Rotterdam University and will follow the process of the Warcraft 3 legend, teaching Carmack everything he needs to know to become successful at StarCraft 2. Carmack may be a well-known journalist, but one thing's for sure, he sucks at StarCraft 2. So you can watch the incredibly funny trailer of the show below, and the first episode is set to air sometime in January. After a weekend of StarCraft 2 excitement, Polar Fluke All-In has finally been concluded, and well, we have our winner. Bravado player Chase managed to take down the Ventus player Panda Tank in the finals with a pretty clean 3-0. Although the Protoss vs Protoss games were pretty nail-biting stuff, Chase did prove to be the more experienced player in the end. So for his first place, Chase wins 700 Rand from mygaming.co.za with a few extras, and Panda Tank 300 Rand. The top 4 from the event were Chase, Panda Tank, Stripe and McNoob. A quick shout out to the guys from Polar Fluke for running this event and keeping the players and spectators happy throughout. A great job once again. Another big thanks goes out to mygaming.co.za for sponsoring the whole thing. You can find the link to their site below, and to Siege for joining me with the shoutcasting for the entire weekend. You can also find a link to his channel below. You can find the final full results of the event below, along with VODs of the finals. Enjoy. So let's head on over to the StarCraft 2 smalls, and yes, some of these should probably not even be smalls, but I couldn't fit everything into the news this week, so this'll have to do. If you see something you like in the smalls, then you should by now know exactly where to look to find it. Let's go check that out. In the smalls this week, Danehain has been nominated for a Shorty Award, Mouse Sports is looking for new German StarCraft 2 talent, Jimpo and Inu have joined SK Gaming's StarCraft 2 team, Todd and D-Star have joined Clan Millennium, Liquid Red is set to face off against the Southeast Asian All-Stars in a show match, Sen has been invited to participate in the Southeast Asian IEM qualifiers. Clan Empire has been restructured. There's an interview with Morrow on the Starcraft 2 maps. Moonglade is set to practice his life out for the GSL. There's also an interview with well-known Brood War player Swin. Polarfluke has a rather entertaining interview up with In Control. The Blizzard fan art gallery has been updated once again. Reaction Time has a nice long interview up with Robert Clotworthy, the voice of Jim Raynor. Gosu Gamers are currently running their Community Effort of the Year and Korean Player of the Year awards. There's another nice article about whether Starcraft 2 Western Esports needs a Korean model to succeed. Lastly, there's a video of life in the Startail house by VT Gaming. So that's it for this week, Smalls. Let's head on over to the World of Warcraft news. The first World of Warcraft Cataclysm patch of 2011 is under development and now available on the public test realms for testing. Blizzard explains that patch 4.0.6 is set to contain the recently spoken about class balance changes along with a bunch of hotfixes that they couldn't apply via hotfixes and many other bug fixes and changes. So I guess if you guys want to help Blizzard out with that testing, you better update your PTR clients and get on there right now. The patch 4.0.6 notes were last updated on January the 12th with promises of more coming very soon. Some changes include that Azerothian rares that went into hiding when the Shattering hit have finally returned with new and upgraded loot. New Alchemist stones have been added and a socket has been added to all epic crafted gear that previously didn't have one. My personal favorite, Troll and Druid epic flight forms now have their correct models. Yes indeed. Shapeshifting as a druid no longer removes root effects, but it still does remove slow. Players can now see the status of Tol Barad on the world map from anywhere in the world, and many other changes. As you can expect, there are also a bunch of achievement and class changes which I won't get into right now because there are way too many, so you can read those below too. Blizzard issued a press release to announce that World of Warcraft Cataclysm has sold 4.7 million copies in its first month of release. Yes, Cataclysm has shattered the previous sales record held by Wrath the Lich King, so that's a pretty impressive feat. As usual, Blizzard thanked everyone for their continued support, and you can read that full announcement below. Sometimes in life, bad things happen to good people, and the same is true in World of Warcraft. Even the most prepared can fall victim to account theft. Have you truly done all you can to prevent that from happening to you? Well, Blizzard is here for you in your time of need. Or in preparation for it at least. They have a nice post up with all the possible ways of protecting our most precious of accounts. I've got to say, with the integration of all the games into the Battle.net system, that means yes, more than one game per account. Starcraft, World of Warcraft, Diablo, Warcraft 3, all those games on one single account. That does sort of make the account a lot more valuable. All that said, I think it's a great thing that they remind us every now and then that we gotta be careful. So you can check that out below. Ghostcrawler is back and, well, no surprise, he's got a lot to say. This time he talks about the dungeon difficulties in World of Warcraft Cataclysm. A long talk. The frustration healers face, the difficulty tanks might have, and the new responsibilities that DPS most definitely have in World of Warcraft Cataclysm compared to the previous expansions. The bosses that Blizzard are keeping an eye on because they are in fact causing a lot more wipes than others, and how the looking for group tool fits into all of this. All of that and much more. In short, Ghostcrawler says that they do hear us. That's the most important part, and that they are working around the clock to try keep the game as fun and balanced as possible. I've linked the article below, so check that out, and once again they've ended it with a pretty interesting line. Greg, Ghostcrawler Street, is the lead designer for World of Warcraft. He has 4 dogs, 3 epic retrievers, and 1 green terrier suitable for disenchanting. Corey Stockton recently posted on the World of Warcraft community site about Tol Barad balance and the plans Blizzard has for it. A bit of a surprise is that Blizzard are apparently quite happy with the fact that attacking is as hard as it is in Tol Barad. This is once again an absolutely huge post with lots of talk, but in my opinion it doesn't really give that much information about the balance. Lucky for us though, patch 4.0.6 that I spoke about a little bit earlier is actually going to make it easier to capture a 3rd base if you already have the first 2. So if you spend a lot of time in Tol Barad and want to know what the future holds for you and your beloved battleground, You can check that out below. A new device was shown by Razer at CES 2011, the Razer Switchblade. The Switchblade is a 7-inch pocket gaming device that's still in its concept phase. According to the concept shown at CES and a video that was released a couple of days ago, you can do quite a lot with this little package of power. There's quite a bit of info about the device, but I will say that this might well be the gaming device that PC gamers in specific have been waiting for. So check that video out below, see what it looks like, see what it's capable of, and lastly, yes, it can play World of Warcraft. Word has gotten out about a lawsuit that was filed against Activision Blizzard and Zynga. I hope I'm saying that right, the guys who created Farmville and Frontierville. The website TechCrunch reports that the lawsuit was filed by a company named Walker Digital that was founded back in 2002 and is listed as an invention company. Walker Digital claims that Activision Blizzard and Zynga are infringing on the following patent: a method and a system for a distributed electronic tournament system. Lastly, they say that games released by both publishers, including Modern Warfare 1 and 2, World of Warcraft and many others, infringe on said patent. Walker Digital is now seeking an unspecified amount for compensation and damages. The two companies have yet to reply to the lawsuit, but I can't help but think that this one won't go anywhere. I can't believe that so many companies do this nowadays. They come out 10 years later claiming that they own something and they want money for it. It's pretty ridiculous. Anyway, you can read the whole thing below. In some smaller World of Warcraft news, the Cataclysm LP is now available for download on iTunes. Ironforge and Undercity mugs, or drinking steins, are now available, and Paragon has scored the world's first kill on Nefarian on heroic mode. Lastly, you can now follow the Blizzard Entertainment Customer Support Europe news and updates on Twitter. That's all I have for you guys for the World of Warcraft news and Pulse 41, so I will be doing another show early next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, that will cover Starcraft news and a big chunk of Diablo news. Otherwise, thank you very much to all the new subscribers. We did recently hit 500 subscribers on the channel, and what can I say? I'm proud and happy and proud and happy. So big thanks to every single one of you. I do appreciate every single view, every single comment, and well, every single subscriber. I hope you all have a great weekend filled with many hours of Blizzard gaming, and remember, like it, favorite it, share it, and subscribe. But most importantly, happy Starcrafting.